On this week's episode, Peloton removes the majority of classes from their on-demand library featuring the music of Kanye West.
Plus 16 showrooms are closing soon, a new Just Walk feature for the tread, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 110 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I am joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey now. How you doing, Amanda?
Do you really want to know? It's been a tough 2 weeks, John. Nobody ever likes to find out that they aren't able to work out, and once they've just received their row. So yeah,
Do you have an undisclosed ailment?
I have a disclosed ailment. I'll disclose it because I want to make sure that no other Peloton member does what I did, and try and think that they were stronger than they are. I went and picked up both 30-pound Peloton weights that were delivered as a gift from Peloton, and I picked them both up at the same time from my garage, climbed my stairs to put them in my workout room, and it turns out I actually pinched a nerve in my neck.
Ooh.
So
yeah, you mentioned this last week, didn't you?
Last week
so it was lingering? Okay.
Last week I knew something was wrong, and I kind of got through. I was down in Miami. I got through that, came back. Monday I went to see someone because I was in so much pain. And he said to me, yeah, it's a pinched nerve, and there's really nothing that I can do for it other than, they put me on a steroid and just some, ibuprofen. It's gotten progressively worse. I'm actually going for an MRI next week because I'm hoping that I can maybe get a cortisone shot or an epidural. So, it's been really frustrating. I've had, it's such a mental thing, not being able to be on the platform. It just shows how, and the outpouring of support's been amazing and it's kept me going. But it's a bummer, especially now with so much cool stuff, on the platform with all the holiday stuff, and it's just so much. So I have not been a happy camper, and it is what it is. But the bottom line was rest. They said not to do anything.
Just take it
I can
easy.
walk.
Yeah,
I can walk, and so I can do that. But yeah, I was bummed. I had classes scheduled for PSNY over the weekend, and I had to cancel. I was bummed. But anyway, it is what it is, and I just have to, as my coach John Husking told me, just be patient, and I will be patient and positive. Actually, he said just be positive, so I'll stay positive. But anyway,
based on the pinched nerve, it sounds like Adrian Williams' 15-minute spinal mobility class might be good for you, but consult with your doctor first. Oh, you did it.
I did his, and I did Maddie's, and I did ask my doctor, but I did that, and I did Maddie's mobilities, the shoulder stretch. So I did both of them. And I think the pain is the pain, and it's not going anywhere until it just needs to release itself. Anyway, enough about me. But I do want to thank everybody that has reached out, because I was a little grumpy I clearly haven't been much on social media. And the little bit that I have been, it's been me being grumpy. So I do appreciate everybody for being so lovely and reaching out. And hopefully I will be good as new in the new year. So let's just cross our fingers. But yeah, how about you? All good with you?
All good with me. I had a really fun weekend last week in Indianapolis. Jackie and I and Jackson, we went to the Big Ten Championship at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is where the Indianapolis Colts play. And we saw Michigan give a nice whooping to Purdue to get the Big Ten championship 2 years in a row now.
Amazing.
We had a little bit of fun. I didn't really plan out where we would charge the car because we have an electric car. So I didn't realize, like level 2 and superchargers and fast chargers. So we ended up going to just like this regular charger at a Chevy dealership where it was like 10 miles every hour or 20 miles every hour.
God. Yeah.
When we could have gone to a faster charger just around the corner. So it was like, we were like hanging out in the car all night, and it made for an interesting first night because we got into Indianapolis at the Airbnb at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And like I'm very thankful for the self-driving feature on my car, because I had it on and like a couple times I was nodding off, and the car tells you, it starts alerting you to keep your eyes on the road because I can be hands-free. And Jackie was also nudging me because she was too worried about having that on. And but it was a great weekend. It was fun. Like we were on each other's case, but it was a great bonding experience. So
that's awesome.
We
still had a good time.
Yep, Jackson had fun, and this weekend we're in Grand Rapids for a hockey tournament. So I've got the whole charging planned out better for the car this time around. So yeah, all is good. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. All right. Well, we don't have much today, but we have enough to keep you guys listening for a little bit. So always, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you folks how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
Yep. And you can also listen to us. We're on all traditional podcast platforms, so if you're on the go, you can always listen to the show, and just be sure to search Pelo Buddy TV and hit subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and also ring that bell for notifications so you never miss an episode or an update. And also leave us a review. We love the really positive 5-star reviews that we get, and we also love suggestions on how we can improve the show and implementing some changes there. So we really do value that feedback.
Absolutely. And of course, folks, by now you all know, but we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on all of these platforms for all of the latest news. And now, John, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right, so first up, we've had a purge of classes from the Peloton library, all seeming to be related to any music of Kanye West. Over 1,000 classes appeared to have been removed, which is the majority of Kanye West classes that had his music. But we are seeing some reports of a few classes with his music that do remain, but most of them have been taken off the platform as of this past week. Peloton announced back at the end of October they would no longer play West's music and any new classes on the platform. And they made that announcement, I think it was the day or two after Alex Toussaint at the end of one of his classes had made reference to it, that he was no longer going to be playing his music in any of his classes. He didn't specifically say Kanye West, but it was pretty obvious with everything going on in the media with him, that's who he was referring to. But like I said, there's still a handful of classes that come up when you enter his name. If you search by artist in that little search bar on your tablet or on the Peloton browser, where you can now search by artist or music. But none of the classes to appear to actually include his music when you do pull it up. But despite the removal, like I said, there's still some reports that there are a few classes lingering with some of his music still in there. So I guess they haven't gotten them all, but the majority of them have been taken down.
All right. Well, I get it. I know there's been a lot of chatter about it, and some people aren't happy. Some people are happy. I guess we're not going to please everybody, but I think it was a very decent move on Peloton's part from my perspective. So I will say that much. All right. We had reported earlier this year that as part of the restructuring and streamlining effort that Barry McCarthy, CEO, had announced, that Peloton was planning to close some of the US and Canadian retail showrooms in the upcoming year in 2023. We are now hearing that Peloton plans to close 16 showrooms, mostly in the US, with a handful in Canada. This would mean up to 15 to 20% of the US showrooms that will in fact be closed, as there are currently about 90 showrooms across the US. But those that will be impacted, those working in the stores, were in fact notified this past week about the upcoming closures, which will happen towards the end of January, allowing them to at least stay open for the holiday season. We have heard that several members or several staff members were notified that severance packages have been offered to those impacted employees. Unfortunately, though, we don't think that those will be the only closures that we will see in the foreseeable future. So we'll keep you guys posted as we hear more. But yeah, not a great way for many that are starting the new year. Because I think that a lot of the Peloton employees really love especially the showroom ones, really do love what they do. So it's got to be pretty, upsetting knowing that they're not going to be able to, continue doing that.
Yeah.
So at least they were given,
Have you checked with your local showrooms?
Yeah,
Tyson's Corner, Miami?
Tyson's Corner and Miami are both big stores and very lucrative ones, like yours is, as you've mentioned before. So I know that those are staying open. I think it's going to be some of the smaller city ones that probably will end up closing.
I did confirm the Troy. We only have one in Michigan, and that's in Troy. 35 minutes away, but that one is okay because I checked with my my contact there, and they're one of the high performing ones as well. Yeah, but I think it's no surprise
may close. From what we're hearing is that the California ones look like they're going to be closing. So maybe the East Coast is just more popular because the studio's on the East Coast. Who knows? What people's thought process is through this whole thing. But that's where we're at.
All right, well, we now have the Just Walk feature for the tread. Just this past week on Wednesday, Peloton announced on social media that the Just Walk feature is now available, and you can either select Just Walk or Just Run as well. And you can set a goal if you want to, but if you go on the tread tablet, it'll be right next to Scenic. It'll say, Just Run. And then from there, you can choose Just Run or Just Walk. You can choose to have a goal or goals or not. So a lot of people I know were happy about that addition. Kind of surprising we didn't have it a lot earlier. Yeah. And then one update a while back, I think in September, we had first reported that pre-downloading classes on the iOS app had been broken. So if you had tried to download an on-demand class, you would hit the download button and then it would sort of like spin around and it would just go back to pressing the download button again, like nothing happened. But we now have confirmation on iOS 16 that feature is now working. It's been broken since September. So it took a while. So I know a lot of folks who have spotty Wi-Fi or on the go or on vacation. That's definitely handy to have when you don't have great service. So finally, we've got that back for iOS.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, Logan Aldridge has been quite busy lately. Not only is he Peloton's newest tread instructor, but he's also been recording new standing adaptive strength program classes specifically designed for adaptive athletes. Last month, Peloton had released a seated adaptive strength training program and have now added a 1-week program with 11 classes designed to strengthen key muscle groups in order to improve quality of life. Of course, this program comes with badges, and folks can earn a bronze badge for completing 5 classes, a silver badge for completing 8, and a gold badge for completing 9 out of the 11 classes. The program also includes a meditation from Ross Rayburn. So for folks that are looking to join this program, it is accessible from the bike, the tread, the app, as well as the website. So that is really awesome that they just, going out there and giving so much more to folks that are jumping on the platform that need adaptive strength training. This past week, Logan also, which was very exciting, had his first live adaptive strength class, which he shared on his social media. We saw that on Instagram. The classes were released in conjunction with International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and it was done together with Peloton's partners, the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. So that was really exciting, and he was so excited to be able to, bring folks into the studio and just make it an amazing experience. So it was fun to see how animated and excited he was through the whole program.
Nice. Well, speaking of some new content that's now available on all platforms, Ben and Jermaine's split strength programs are now available across all devices and platforms. So it's been 7 weeks since they were dropped exclusively for members who have the Peloton guide, but now all members can now access it, on the app or on your hardware, your bike, your row, your tread. So I know a lot of folks, have been waiting to get that content that don't have the guide.
And from what I'm hearing, people are loving it. So a lot of people have been jumping on. And it's definitely put Jermaine out there, which is fantastic. But folks have really, really liked the program. So that's also.
But did we have, I know Chris Lewis is good about providing the backdoor links. Did we have links to get into those? Or I guess did those not work for, I know they don't work for the row.
They were locked. So the links were locked down. So we had the links.
No backdoor.
No backdooring on that program. All right. Well, Allie Love is definitely racking up those United Airlines flight miles. On Tuesday, the 13th, she will be popping into PSL, Peloton Studios London, to ride right next to German cycle instructor Cliff Dwenger in a 2-for-1 holiday ride. So folks, definitely jump on that, because that's going to be so much fun getting to see the two of them, and having Cliff together with Allie is going to be such an amazing dynamic duo. So I'm looking really forward to that. Of course, I'll have to just watch it on the app since I'm not able to ride, but I am looking forward to seeing that. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, we have some new artist series. First up, Kane Brown. So last Monday, Peloton announced the Kane Brown artist series featuring his music. Classes all came out on 12/7, which included an on-demand row class as well as live strength and a ride. So we had a Matt Wilpers 30-minute row, a 20-minute Kane Brown arms and shoulder strength with Logan, and a 30-minute ride with Kendall. I don't know anything about Kane Brown.
Never heard. Yeah, I had never heard of him. It is a guy.
It is a guy. Okay.
I do assume he goes by he, but I'm not sure. Pop country. Control room are telling us he is pop country. Okay. So I was not familiar with him. With him.
And then in addition to that, we had a new German artist series. Peloton also announced the music of German indie rock band Sportfreunde Stiller. Sportfreunde means friends of the sport, and that really says it all, according to Peloton in their announcement on social media, celebrating the legendary German indies band new album Jeder nun ein X. For us, it's the perfect combination of indie rock and sports. Plus, it even has its very own lane break level for even more enjoyment. The Sportfreunde Stiller is composed of 3 band members, and they've been making music since 1995. And it all launched, the artist series launched on Wednesday, December 7th as well, included 3 classes and all in 3 modalities, all in German, a 20-minute core strength with Marcel, 30-minute run with Tobias Hines, and a 30-minute ride with Mila. So check those out. They're now in the library.
Awesome. And has anyone ever received or purchased those resistance bands and didn't really know what to do with them?
They've been stuck in the pocket of my tread for the last 2 years. I think I've used them once on a Hannah Corbin class.
I remember you saying that.
I've got them.
That.
Yeah.
Well,
they're nice.
pull them out, John, because there are a bunch of new classes that just dropped with Maddie and Hannah Corbin under the strength category, using those said resistance band. So certainly now's your chance. If you have not known what to do with them, or they just haven't been something that you've, thought of using as a strength tool, they certainly are less heavy than the 30-pound weights that Peloton send you in their weight stack. But you know what? What I saw folks mention, which is so true, especially if you're traveling, and especially with everybody traveling now during the holidays, and you aren't with any of your Peloton hardware, they're easy to pack and something you can do first thing in the morning before you head out for the day. So it's a great way to incorporate that into a workout and get your blue dot before the end of the year and use your resistance bands. And Maddie, I actually did take a look at one of Maddie's ones. I had done Hannah's in the past because I think Hannah had dropped resistance. She has dropped resistance band training in the past. So I did take a look at one of Maddie's, and I think I told you folks last week, Maddie's become one of my faves lately, and it was really great, really, really great. So definitely look at utilizing those, especially you, John.
Yeah, the bands don't take up too much space. So that's a good thing to take with me if we go out of town, because I know the hotel in Grand Rapids this weekend didn't have a Peloton bike. So that would be an easy accessory to won't take up much space in the car.
Well, I know that you guys have certainly found a way to work out. I did have a good chuckle watching Jackie and Walmart doing Ben's strength training.
Yes, in the fitness section of your local Walmart or shopping grocery store.
That was hysterical. So yeah, so now you don't even have to embarrass yourself. You can just do it in your hotel room or your Airbnb where no one can see you.
There you go. Well, if you have noticed, like myself recently, if you have noticed people in the studio during the week, it is Peloton employees. So Matt Wilpers posted on Instagram this past Wednesday with a bunch of employees that rode with him that morning. But I had noticed my friend Emily Parsons, who we've had on the show, we've interviewed her a while back on Pelo Buddy. She's a Peloton corporate employee in London, and she had posted some stories doing a ride in the front row with Sam Yo at PSL, and she was doing a milestone. So I was like, what's up with some special event? She's like, oh, it's employees only during the week. So I mean, that's kind of nice that they get, because obviously it's tough to get in on the weekend with everyone scrambling to get a spot in those classes. So
yeah, I actually reached out to Mariana. Yeah, Mariana did a power zone she was in that power zone class on Wednesday with Matt. So I reached out too and I said, hey, what's going on? She goes, oh my God, it was so cool. And it was fun for her to have been there. So yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Well, everybody looks forward to the end of the year and receiving the Cooldown, which is Peloton's year in review stats. And this year won't be any different. The Cooldown has been teased in a tweet by Peloton that said, is it just me or is it cooling down around here? Hashtag Peloton Cooldown. And then that little the little emoji that's on there. So I guess folks can expect to see it sometime in mid-December, like it was last year, which will then give you your stats from December 1st, 2021 through December 1st, 2022. So if you're feverishly trying to get through the end of the year and wanting to add that into your stats, it probably won't register until next year. But of course, if you haven't made your 20,000 minutes, you can still go ahead and, work out to make sure you get your 20,000 minutes. And of course, Chris Lewis has your calculator on Pelo Buddy. So if you're not sure how to get to that or how much working out you need to do, just head over to the Pelo Buddy website to be able to get that. But it's a great way for you to be able to see how you've done for the year, how you have, who you've worked out with the most, how many classes you've done, your highest output. And of course, as soon as it becomes available, we will absolutely let you know through Pelo Buddy, through pelobuddy.com. You'll be able to pull the Cooldown from cooldown.onepeloton.com. So that's where it will get loaded through the Peloton website.
I remember one thing about that video. There was one metric in it that everyone seemed to have the same one, and it was something to the effect of you were in the top 5% of leaderboard or classes, but everybody had that. So I don't even know what that was based. Right. So hopefully the metrics are maybe a little more accurate this time around for 2022. I just thought that was funny because like everyone I saw, everybody had that same top 5% or top 10% that it would reference in those little stats breakdown. But it was fun. I enjoy those. You know, I know who my top instructor is, and it's Cody, because I always take the most Cody classes on the platform. So
even though Jen Sherman's your favorite instructor.
Even though Jen's my favorite, yes. Yeah, I know. Well, in other news, refurbished bikes are now available in the UK. So Peloton expanded their partnership with eBay to offer refurb bikes in the United Kingdom. On Wednesday, they announced they had expanded the partnership with eBay. And so the refurbished Peloton bike is now available for purchase and delivery in mainland UK and Northern Ireland for shopping during the festive season here. And through 2023. So for 995 euros, that includes delivery and setup. And I guess on eBay, it's 995 pounds. Thank you, our British control room, Chris Giles. And I guess if you go on eBay, I haven't looked at the listing, but I guess it's just a buy it now feature. Is that, I guess, how it works when they're posted on the eBay site? It's not like you bid on it and try to get
Correct.
Gotcha.
Nope, it's a buy now.
But the pre-owned bikes, they'll have some peace of mind. They come inspected, refurbished, tested by Peloton to meet all their quality standards. Peloton first introduced the sale of refurb bikes on eBay in Germany back in August. So recent research from eBay revealed a very growing secondhand economy in the UK, where almost 9 out of 10, 87% of UK adults surveyed said they have bought an item secondhand there on the past 12 months.
All right. And if anyone missed out on shopping for Peloton hardware over the Thanksgiving holiday, you can still score some deals. Whilst not as good as during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday specials, you can get up to $400 off a Bike Plus or Tread and $200 off guide packages. We aren't seeing anything for the new Row, though. So if you missed out on that bundle that was offered back over Thanksgiving, you missed out. But at least there are going to be some sales through Christmas for those folks that are still wanting to buy new. So if you're not going to be doing refurbished or secondhand. I apologize, 200 off the Row. I was mistaken. So there is, in fact, I didn't see that on the website. So I guess 200 off the Row, which is something, because then it brings you down under 3,000, which is kind of cool. All right. And something that was very fun and cool to see, if you're looking for a fun card to send to your Pelo buddies, yes, that was intentional. Peloton have announced a new set of motivational digital holiday cards that folks can send to their friends, which is accompanied by a 30-day free trial of the Peloton app. There are 56 in total, which can be downloaded via their Pinterest page. And there's pretty much one from each instructor with both English and German options to choose from. But it was just a cool way to see something, again, fun and different that Peloton were adding. We all like to see them, and the different groups were posting their instructors, motivational quote that they were giving. But yeah, just something different to have fun with.
That's kind of cool. I know it seems like they've discontinued the instructor cards that you would receive with apparel. They seem to have
I haven't noticed.
Phased those out. They include some different kind of cards, but they don't include like the flat Robin or the flat Cody, that you would get normally. You'd get one or two of them sometimes with an apparel package. But speaking of apparel, if you blinked, you missed out. But this past Thursday morning, Peloton posted that the little miniatures, little figurines of Robin and Alex, which are their miniatures from the recent holiday commercials that feature both of them miniature versions of them cheering on the member when they're in the kitchen or when they're in the office. They had little they're almost like G.I. Joe size figurines. And a lot of people thought they were just cutouts, but they look like little rubberized miniature figurines for 92 cents each. Very limited number of them were apparently made, but they were sold out within minutes of when they went up on the site and when Peloton posted about them. So if you were lucky enough to get one of them, let us know. I know our friend Moms of Peloton, Melissa Ferraro, she managed to get a Robin one, but the Alex one was already gone. And I know a lot of people had added them to their cart, and by the time they went to check out, it was already updated as sold out. So I didn't. It was well sold out by the time I even, saw the post and went to check to see if I could buy one.
Yeah, I didn't bother because I was very upset that there wasn't a mini John or Hannah, although I was told by somebody that we probably would prefer a full-sized John, but there was no John or Hannah.
You want to blow up John.
Blow up John. Stick him in my gym to really motivate me when I'm working out.
A John real doll.
I actually thought that they were Christmas ornaments. I thought they were actually, but then afterwards I saw that they were just these cutouts. I thought they were they the star? They were the star with them on it, right?
No, they're just like you just set them on like your desk or a shelf or
like a motivational thing. I think it would have been cool to have done the ornaments. That would have been fun to have a little hole so you could attach a string. Definitely. Yeah. I reached out to my contact at the showroom. He wasn't starting work until later in the day, so I don't know if the showrooms have received them, but I might have to hit up one of my Pelo contacts to see if they can hook me up. No, I think they only made 92. It was a limited edition thing. They only made I think it was 92 or 96 of them. Sold for, I think it was 92, and they were sold for 92 cents.
92 cents.
So it was just like a quick fun thing that they, whoever was lucky enough to jump on and get it, like Melissa, was able to get one. I hadn't heard of anybody else getting any. But I'm
gonna have to check eBay and see what the price has been gouged up to if anybody's selling them in the secondary.
I guess Chris Lewis got one, and he told me I can borrow his. Nah, I'm good. If you didn't get John, I'm not in the game for one, so that's okay. All right, moving on. A very, very happy.
Oh, and one other thing, apparel wise, additional. There are some new Milestone shirts in the collection in the apparel store. There's a Milestone shirt collection on the apparel store, and there's a few different options for different milestones besides 100. There's two different Reach 100, a classic black short sleeve that's $30, and there's also a long sleeve one that's $54. But there's also a really nice looking, like a high quality long sleeve raglan crew neck pullover in a gray color for 500 Milestone. It's $68, but it looks really, and it's a nice blend. It's 50% polyester, 38% cotton, 12% rayon. I might actually get that. Actually, it looks pretty nice. And there's also a 1000 class Milestone, a crew neck pullover in black that's also $68. So that's the first time we've seen Milestone apparel, for sale besides the 100, the 100 ride shirt. Yeah,
that's awesome. They're going to have to up their game, though, the same way as they're sitting at 20,000 minutes when people are already at 100,000 minutes. They need to make sure they start. What are you at now? Almost 4,000? Over 4,000 rides?
For rides? Yeah, 40, 41 something.
Yeah, he says so casually. Ring, bitch.
I'm trying to stay humble.
All right. Well, going back, don't want to miss out on this, but a very happy birthday to Tunde. She celebrated her birthday this past week. So happy birthday, Tunde.
Happy birthday.
All right, John, I guess we're going to go right into Instructor in the News up next.
Yeah, and a huge congratulations to Susie Chan. She completed a 100-mile race last weekend where she not only finished first, she not only finished, but she finished first in her age group. The race was held at Ponce Inlet in Florida, which is just south of Daytona Beach. It was like, I guess I don't even know what it is.
Ultra marathon.
Yeah, ultra. Is it considered an ultra?
That was
okay.
It was called an ultra marathon. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's basically 3 marathons combined, right?
It took 25 hours, John. I mean, is that crazy? Yeah, nearly four marathons, but 24 hours. I don't know if you saw any of her on social, but I did watch throughout, and she did do some self-posting while she was going through it, and she was so honest, just saying this was probably one of the hardest races she had done. She was really, struggled through some of it. When she said she hates doing it at night, and her husband joined her for her last, I think, 3 miles or 5 miles, 17 miles. Thank you, control room. Wow. 17 miles at the end.
So it was all, I was about to say, it was all consecutive. She didn't sleep for a couple. Wow.
Yes. No, it was, kept on going. And I got to tell you, 14-minute miles. Isn't that amazing?
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
But unbelievable. And I loved how she documented. She said at the end her phone died, so she couldn't, kind of get the last bit. But I got to tell you, watching her at the end, I was really rooting for her. And in fact, I'd messaged her and said, Susie, please tell me you completed this. I was kind of watching. And then she did put on Insta that, her phone had died and hence not doing it. But that's pretty unbelievable.
The stamina.
And then, of course, jumped on a plane and was back in studio on Thursday teaching a class. So I know Chris Giles did that class. I think he had a milestone run in that class, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 400. So shout out to Chris and on his milestone. But I can't even imagine, doing that and then getting straight back to teaching and being on the tread and probably running, beautifully. So, huge kudos to her. And then what a week for Tunde. Not only, as we said, was it her birthday, but it also was announced that her book landed as one of the best business and leadership books of 2022 on Amazon. So huge congrats this past week to Tunde for her book, which has definitely claimed lots of kudos. And then, haven't forgotten, a lot of accolades. And then, haven't forgotten, we also saw the launch of Marcel Dinkins' new IGTV series called We Take the Hill. So it is something new that she's put out there that will be released on IGTV. The first episode featured Peloton's very own Kristen McGee, who shared her uphill battles in life with dealing with both infertility, and then very candidly spoke of her separation from her husband a little under 2 years ago. So it was the first time she said that she's publicly spoken about both. I did get to watch it. I think Kristen is a superhero. She is the mom of 3 boys, and she shared her story of her infertility journey and how when she was going through her IVF initially, and of course, for those that watch the show regularly and know, my previous life was in the infertility world, and I have 3 IVF children myself. So of course I gravitated to this quite closely. But she said that she was going through her IVF, and it was during Sandy, and the IVF clinic she was working with, basically, I don't know if a tree fell on the building or whatever, but her cycle was canceled because they were unable to operate, and she had to find a different fertility center who did take her, and her Timothy was born through that. And then obviously she went on to have her twin boys after. And then she spoke about, about her separation and how she knew it was the right thing to do. And she said it all boiled down to her kids. She said both her, it was interesting that both her fertility and then her infertility, and then of course her separation was just about making sure that she was taking care of her boys, and she felt that this was the right thing for them. So I actually messaged her after because I was very moved. I think it's amazing how vulnerable the instructors are when they share their life and what they've been through. And we've seen it with so many of them who have been so open and honest in what they've been through. But this one really, really meant something. So really appreciate Marcel taking on this. And I'm curious to see who the upcoming guests will be on her Up the Hill.
And rounding out instructors in the news, Emma Lovewell was just recently a keynote speaker at Microsoft for their Aspire program. She had posted on social media a picture of her on stage at the event and said, "Hopefully I succeeded in getting their aspires pumped for this new chapter ahead."
All right, John. Well, I guess we can go right into class picks of the week, and I'm going to have you throw it out there.
All right, first up is Cody's 30-minute LOL Cody Holiday Edition, which is the fourth and final in this installment of the LOL Cody series. This one featured the hilarious Bowen Yang from Saturday Night Live and podcast host, and his podcast co-host was also riding in the studio there with him. It also had an appearance, with Mariah Carey towards the end of the class. But we received this one. It was also from December 1st, I might add. We got this from Boost Cycle, Nicole Endures. They said, Mariah, Bowen, and Matt, say no more. The most fun I've ever had on the bike. I thought it was great. I love, Bowen Yang is just so funny. So this one was great because I knew he would crack me up. I was a little disappointed with the Mariah appearance. She just felt like she did not want to be there at all. When they shined the light on her, she said something about did somebody say festive? And then she goes, whatever, come on. And then Cody was trying to prompt her to give her I don't want a lot for, that little intro where she sings. And she totally did not want to do that. She was like, didn't I already do that, baby? And, she kind of just did the, like that a little bit, and they were getting all excited, and they wanted obviously more from her for singing, but she just was having none of it. So, and it was so quick. It was such a brief, quick appearance. So I just, everyone was all overjoyed about it, but I thought she could have given us a little more, especially with the artist series that we just had featuring her music. For sure. Anyway. While we're still on Mariah Carey, we got some Mariah Carey submissions. So next up is Adrian's 30-minute Mariah Carey row. We got a row submission from December 2nd. We got this one from Mini Marathon, Tully 9, and Natalie Amanda 116. They said, so fun, all the best songs.
Awesome. And still more Mariah, Ross Rayburn's 30-minute Mariah Carey Yoga Flow, also from the 2nd. Katie F. Carey and Katie Nelb both recommended. They said Ross's happiness in teaching this class is everything. And then to round up the Mariah Carey artist series picks, this one comes from Photos by Eileen. It was the Emma and Cody 2-for-1 30-minute Mariah Carey ride. And they said 2 words, lip syncing. We also had a recommendation or a pick from M.L. Borch. John Husking's 10-minute holiday post-run stretch. Love the vibes and the tunes in this one. And that was from the 3rd of December.
And a lot of people submitted Hannah Frankston's 30-minute holiday run from December 3rd. Hey, it's Eric M. I Train Like a Girl, Dippin' Doll 22, Mandy Rose, Timeout Tammy. All submitted this one. They said Hannah's funny and at her best in this one. Such a unique spin, office holiday party. Panders Andy submitted Sam Yo's 30-minute climb ride from December 3rd. They said this was a great climb ride. Sam's first studio audience fitness focus class, a tough ride with a great soundtrack. And then
it was a climb, because it was a climb ride. Andy said it was amazing.
Gotcha. Because I know he's had people in the studio before.
Yeah. No, it was just a fitness, like a fitness first, yeah.
Okay. And then next up, Tobias Heinz's 30-minute 70s run. I assume this is in German, from December 3rd. We got this from Red Strong 82, Katie White, Cat Owl Dragons, Bertha C runs MD. They said this class is so fun. Coach T's energy was palpable. The music was so fun. It was a total dance party. Even if you don't speak German, you will feel the good vibes and have a blast. Broke a record for most people live on a German shred class.
All right. And the German instructors keep on going. And my favorite, Jeffrey McEachin, his 30-minute pop run, which was his first English-speaking run, and it was amazing. I did get to be a part of that. I didn't run it. I walked it down in Miami, but it was absolutely fantastic. S-Pound-C-01 and Bertha C. Runs MD both recommended it as their picks also. His second English class. Did I miss the first one? Maybe. I'm sorry. His second English class filled with hits, NSYNC, Britney, Beyonce, Ariana, and Jeffrey's joyous energy. If this class doesn't make you fall in love with Jeffrey, you must have a heart of stone. And then next up is Jen Sherman's 60-minute classic rock ride. That was also from the 4th. Rachel Spins 24 recommended this one, and they said some great songs was singing my heart out.
Yeah, and I know she played some Grateful Dead. I peeped the playlist because I was away that weekend, but she did play some Shakedown Street, which is a total banger. And next up, Maddie Majacomo's 20-minute resistance band Upper Body from December 5th. Beaches and Bubbles, Haley Hallmark, Sheila, Solly, and Ride for Anthony all gave us this one. They said simple but effective and hard, all caps. And then Eric Yeager's 45-minute Power Zone Endurance Ride, also from the 5th. Bertha C. Runs MD gets around. She's really on the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's Annie, and she loves the German instructors. She's out of California, the West Coast, and she loves the German instructors. I figured she was in Maryland because she's in MD.
Nah, maybe she's a doctor. Okay.
I forget now what she does, but yeah, her name is Annie.
So this one's also from December 5th. She said, for all the Power Zone riders, you don't have to speak German to do this one. He makes it so easy to follow. If you know how to count in German up to 5, he explains the roadmap in the beginning, so you can use, and he does a great job indicating with his hands how many minutes in what zones. PZ endurance classes only go in zone 2 to 3 anyway. He said his music is great, drives you in each zone. The class made me feel like I could definitely take more of his PZ rides and be able to follow along. Thanks, awesome. Bertha C.
Yeah. And then Kelly Gullickson's 30-minute holiday bike boot camp. That was from the 5th. Shannon 78MM, Terry Johnson 2781, and Jason D all recommended this one. So fun with a little emotional ending to it. Loved it. Awesome playlist that had Callie's favorite Christmas movies. 4x3 circuit, then a ladder, then core circuit. All right. Sorry if I messed that up. And then Ben Alldis's 20-minute pop punk ride. That was from the 6th. It was recommended by Paige All Day. They said music was 100. Fun to see Ben doing a pop punk ride.
Nice. And next up, Jackie K. Cadge gave us Camilla's 30-minute hit run from December 6th. She said, great way to wake up with this one. And then next up, all the burgers submitted Rad Lopez's 20-minute chest and back strength, also from December 6th. They said Rad introduced the lazy lawnmower in this one.
Nice. And then Kira's koala is always going out there for Kira. They recommended her 30-minute 80s yoga flow from the 6th, said such a great vibe, so many classics and great sequencing. Bradley Rose's 20-minute holiday ride from the 7th. This one was recommended by a ton of people. So let me shoot with these. 5 Boys of Mine, Cami Ham, Miss Scarlet Cycles, Speech MD, Molly with Curls, Blanca 2016, and our friend Daisy Mack. All recommended this one, said fun, but not easy. And then Kendall Toole's Kane Brown ride, the 30-minute one from the 7th of December, was also recommended by K. Reeves 88, Candid with Caitlin, and Bertha C. Runs MD. You've been very busy, Annie, on the platform. If you are a Kane Brown fan, you will be singing your heart out. I thought she did a great job structuring the class with the music and not just giving Wikipedia facts about the artist. Super fun.
And last one, this is my pick now. It's not from last week because, you know, there's no live row classes, but this one is from November 10th, and it's Alex's 20-minute 80s row. And it was super fun. And obviously, you know, you can only take it if you have the Peloton row. But what besides the 80s music, which I loved, he had some Phil Collins, he had Huey Lewis and the News, he had some Fleetwood Mac and some Queen. But what I really loved was I got to know him a little more and his family. He comes from a big family of 4 or 5 siblings, I want to say. And he told a lot of stories about growing up with his parents and his siblings getting into trouble. But in particular, during the class, he talked about one of his older sisters, getting into trouble, wanting to drive, after she got her license, she wanting to go to a party and take her car there. And her father specifically, forbid her from doing that because obviously he was worried about her, going to a party. And so when she went to go take the car that night to go to the party, she was obviously disobeying him. She went to go take the car. She went to start it. It wouldn't start. Alex said his dad disconnected the battery. And that when she came back into the house, she was yelling, screaming. She stormed up to her room and slammed the door. And he goes, I can't remember, I don't remember the screaming, but I remember that door slam. And the next day when she went to school and she came home, her door to her bedroom was removed. And her dad said, that's a privilege. You don't disrespect, the house, your room like that. It just cracked me up, some of the stories. Because he's not super active on social media, so you don't really know. Right. We don't know a whole lot about him yet. But he's obviously busy. He just got married. He's in grad school, so he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But that one was really.
DMs. He does answer DMs, so that was pretty nice.
I was messaging because he did mention something about rowing school, and he said he went to Groton boarding school in Connecticut, which is a kind of a prestigious boarding school where he first started rowing with his brother. But that one was great. There were some great, personal stories in there. So if you have the row, I definitely recommend that one. Not just for the music, but for the stories too.
All right. Well, I guess, John, that wraps up the picks of the week and this week's show. So, folks, thank you so much. We got it all into you in hopefully just under an hour. So it was a quick one. Bank Guy will like it. It'll just be enough for him to get through and not get bored. But as always, guys, thank you so much for listening and taking the time to hear what we have to say. We always love to present it to you. Probably next week will be our last one before the holidays, but we'll see. Wow. We'll see how much news there is out there for what to give to you. But anyway, from me here, Slim Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
Yeah, and for me here in Michigan, we appreciate you tuning in, listening to us. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.